Hey, I'm not in Amsterdam right now. I'm actually on a weekend trip. And as you can see, and it got me thinking about something really important I want to share with you. You know that feeling when you're traveling or life gets super busy and your Russian practice just, well, stops? Maybe you've got the holidays coming up or work is crazy and suddenly your carefully built routine just falls apart. Let me tell you what I usually do. Instead of doing the same practices like I do at home, I scale them down to the bare minimum or do some different activities. Let me explain. So, here's the thing about language learning. You don't need to study for hours every day to maintain your progress, because what you really need is consistency, even if it's just a few minutes. Think about like keeping a plant alive, like here in this garden. You don't need to dump a bucket of water on it once a month. Much better to just water it every couple of days. And let me share you some practical tips to keep your Russian alive when you're busy or traveling. First, vocabulary apps. I use Anki on my phone, but to be honest, any vocabulary app will do. And the beauty of these apps, you always have them with you. Waiting for coffee, do a couple of flashboards. In line at the airport, another 20 repetitions. Sitting on the going to the bathroom, well, you get the idea. And these tiny moments, they add up surprisingly fast. So here's what makes this approach so effective. Spaced repetition. When you review words in short bursts throughout the day, your brain processes them better than if you try to cram in hundreds of words in one sitting. And I've personally learned thousands of Russian words this way, just by using these in-between moments that we usually spend scrolling through social media. And the second thing is audio lessons. Always have a couple of some Russian audio content on your phone, because there are so many dead moments in your day where your eyes are busy, but your ears are free. Walking to get groceries, well, do some Russian time. Doing laundry, Russian time. Early morning jog, you guessed it, Russian time. Now, let's talk about travel specifically. Airports and planes are actually perfect for language learning if you know how to use them correctly. I'm not suggesting you spend your entire 5-hour flight just conjugating some Russian verbs, because that would be pretty intense. But why not just use a couple of those hours productively? And here's my travel routine, what I also did this time. I always take my e-reader with me that has a couple of Russian books, because there's just something special about reading while traveling. When you're at your hotel room at night or sitting at the beach, it's much nicer to read a book than to stare at your phone screen again. Now, I personally use an e-reader as it's more convenient to have all my books in one thing, but real actual books might even work better, as there's something nice about having a physical book, and you can also make notes in it, which is great for learning. And lastly, if you hear Russian while you're traveling, don't be shy. Real practice is invaluable, and travelers are often more open to casual conversations. So look, the key here isn't perfection, it's maintenance. When life gets hectic, even 5 minutes of Russian practice is better than nothing. It keeps that neural pathway open, making it much easier to jump back into your regular routine when things finally calm down. So if you're looking for structured audio lessons that work well with this approach, check out my course, Russian Conversations Unlocked. I designed it specifically for busy people who need flexible learning options with bite-sized lessons that you can do anywhere. So before I wrap this up, here's your action plan for busy periods. So download a vocabulary app, load up some audio lessons on your phone, pack a Russian book for downtime, use travel time strategically, keep your practice sessions short but consistent, and remember, maintaining your Russian during busy times, it's not about studying harder, it's about studying smarter. So just keep it simple, keep it consistent, and you'll be surprised how much you can maintain or even progress despite a packed schedule. So if you're curious how I became fluent in Russian, watch this video next.